Hey friends, in this video we're going to draw some contour line flowers and leaves with a watercolor background splash. But instead of using watercolor paint, I'm going to be using markers, paper towel, and a little bit of water. Before we get into the coloring part though, let's focus on the contour line drawings. A contour line is a simple outline, maybe with a little bit of internal detail of any object, but there's no color, no value, no shading. Contours are the simple outline, maybe a little bit of internal detail, no color, no shading, just the outlines. Got it, got it. Got it. Fabulous. So that's the first part of this project. And when you are drawing any kind of contour line, you want to make sure you have an example of the object you are drawing. I have some pictures of flowers and leaves nearby. Maybe you want to try this with a pair of glasses, a chess piece, maybe your favorite pair of binoculars, a pair of scissors, paintbrushes. Anything goes. You can make contour lines of any object you see in front of you. But again, make sure it's in front of you so you can look at what you're drawing. Now, there are a few different types of contour lines. In this project, we are going to be focusing on continuous contour lines. That means once I start, I'm going to continue until I'm finished. I won't lift my Sharpie off the page. Now, of course, if you need to take a break, if you have to scratch your nose, or you just want to just take a moment to take a breath, you can adapt. We are flexible. Take your time and do your best. Now, if you are one of my students watching, I know you have practiced these flowers aplenty. But if you are new to this video, don't worry about it. I would make sure you take some time to practice the contour drawing parts before you move on to adding any color to your pieces. Practice can really be useful when you're doing contours because it can be a little tricky to get and find your flow. I am going to start using these small 4.5 by 6 pieces of cardstock paper. You can hear it's pretty thick. Now, if you don't have that paper, no worries. Go ahead and take a regular piece of drawing paper, fold it in half once, fold it in half twice, and go ahead and cut those 4 pieces out so your paper isn't wobbly on you. Having a nice small series of contours to work with can be really pleasing. I'm going to get started with a poppy flower. So I have my poppy flower image to look at, and I can change my mind. I can change up what my flowers look like. That's fine. I'm the artist. I have a voice, so I have a choice. Here we go. And remember, you want to have a nice loose grip. Don't grip it until your fingers are going to fall off. It'll be much harder to draw. And make sure, imagine the tip of your marker is like an ice skater, gently gliding over the paper. If you press down really hard, your Sharpie or your marker might stick, and that can be a little troublesome. And you're noticing here, I'm going straight for this with a Sharpie. No pencil. Don't erase. Contours are meant to be smooth and intuitive. You just go for it and let what happens, happens. Here we go. Let's go for this poppy. I'm looking at the general shape-ish of the flower. Notice I said ish. Ish is one of my favorite books by Peter H. Reynolds, and the message of that book is all about not going for perfection, just going for ish, the idea of what you're drawing. And that to me is poppy-ish. How about I try a tulip? lovely. I'm just gonna stack those on top of each other. Now I think I want to try a rose. It's gonna be difficult, but why not challenge ourselves? Nobody ever grew really strong by lifting the lightest weights, my friends, and the same thing goes for drawing. If you don't try the hard stuff, you're always gonna stick to the simple, and your art muscles won't grow. So flex them, give it a shot. If it looks crazy, I'm sure you have plenty more paper to try it with, am I right? Alrighty, let's start with that kind of spirally-ish thingy that resembles the center of a rose. Clearly, I'm really familiar with plant life. Here we go. Ooh, my paper lifted, that's fine. I'm gonna go around here, maybe. Rose-ish, that's all we're going for, right? Oh, maybe a leaf or two. Are they perfect? No, I think I'm gonna go up too and thicken out that stem. Oh, I think it's pretty snazzy. Yeah. And let's change it up just a bit. I want to add one little seedling. A little plant life here. Why not? Let's start from the bottom. Up, out, and down. There we go. Up. The overlap of your lines can be really pleasing too, especially if they're super gentle. Now, they won't look perfect, and that's the idea. We're not going for perfection. We're going for contour. I think it's pretty sweet. Alrighty, let's arrange these so I can see them all. Let's look at my work. Not bad. Are they perfect? No, we're not going for perfect though. And if you feel like adding a few more details, like little veins inside your leaves, go for it. It's your artwork. You get to add any extra details you like to really make it feel like your own, right? Now, you can take a moment here, research as many flowers and leaves as your heart desires. Go outside into the yard, take a walk around the block, be inspired, bring your sketchbook, and just draw contours of everything you see. When you feel ready and you have 4 final small drawings you're ready to add color to, bring them on back and enjoy this next step. To add the color, I'm going to be using my paper towel. You will want to have a piece of scrap paper nearby to color on, and what I'm going to do here is rip these in half. I have 2 pieces of paper towel here. I want to make this 4 pieces, so I'm going to divide it in half like that. So I have 4 pieces of paper towel, a little cup of water, and I'm just going to grab that scrap paper I had from earlier. I'm going to scoot these out of my way for a moment. All but one. Here we go. I'm going to switch these around. Thank you for your patience as I adjust my workspace. Now, for my poppy, I'm going to put my paper towel here, and you can choose any array of colors. You can choose a complementary where colors are opposite on the color wheel. You can choose to go more analogous, colors that are close to each other, neighbors on the color wheel. You can just do colors that you think look lovely together, some neutrals with some more earthy tones. It's totally up to you. But choose 4 colors. For my poppy, I think I'm going to go for this beige, orange, and purplish route. And I'm going to add a little bit of color to each corner of my paper towel. They don't look that different, so maybe I'll add a little bit of a darker orange here. My orange and my peach didn't look too far apart, but that's okay. I'm fine with it. I don't need that much contrast. I like these colors, and that's all that matters, right? Alrighty. Now that you have your paper towel, you can scoot your scrap off to the side. And you're going to need your water now. What we're going to do is we're going to dip each of these colors into our water and then tap it around. You can even squeeze your paper towel. I recommend always start with your lightest colors first. That way your water won't get too dirty. Let's add some splashes of color. So dip that paper towel, maybe tap the side. Here we go. Now this is very, very light. I knew that would be the case, but that was actually what I was going for, so it's working out. And I like those little droplets there. I'm going to keep them and see what happens. Let's try the orange corner. Maybe I'll get a little darker here. Oh, that's kind of neon. I did not expect that. That's cool beans. I'm going to go back in. Maybe I'll overlap with my peach again. Cool. And how about this purple? I know poppies aren't purple. Does that matter? That's kind of lovely. I'm going to add some right on those petals. Yes. And my darkest corner. Ah, yes. Ooh, lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to combine these too. Why not? What happens if I combine all three? Pretty cool. And that, my friends, is how you add your little splashes of color. We can scoot that poppy off to the side. Let's grab this rose and try that one more time. And my friends, you don't need to color in your flowers. You're just adding some backsplash, a few pops to make it come to life. And if you want to try giving your paper towel a little squeeze and spatter, you can add some nice droplets, but be careful. You don't want your colors to blend too much, or you might get some more muddier spots like that. But you're working with paper towel, so you can dry that off. And I actually kind of like that happy little mistake. I'm going to color in the rest of mine, and I will see you when I'm finished. As you can see, I took some of my practice examples and added just a little bit of color there. I really liked the minimalist, which means not too much, aesthetic, and that means I added just a little pop of color so my lines and the flowers, leaves really have room to shine. These ones in the middle are still awesome, but I think I actually prefer a little less. The contrast of the color with the negative space showing through really emphasizes the simplicity of my lines, and I like that look. So you choose whichever adventure of color you choose. You don't even have to use markers. If you want to take some watercolor paint and spatter, that will look incredible as well. So take your time. Remember to practice your continuous contour lines with a gentle, calm body, and you will be great. Happy creating!